Hey folks, second video in our new Land Rover Defender 110. Me and Thad Brown here, our Dubai correspondent.
Yeah, sure.
Our white Dubai correspondent.
Yeah, that's fine.
You might be able to see it out the back. We just drove over a mountain. We are car testers, Thaddeus.
Christ
oh my
almighty.
God. Holy shit.
God.
And so we can check out how the new Defender does in that video. It's a separate video. And then we made this video so we can talk to you about how the Defender drives on the road, because that's where you're going to spend most of your time. I mean, a lot of people are going to buy these things and not even really go off-road, which would be a shame.
Yeah.
But it is a nice on-road vehicle. This may be repetitive if you've seen my off-road video, but this is the X, right? The Defender 110X SE P400. So that means 110-inch wheelbase, aka 5-door. X means it's the top tier off-roading capability with the terrain response 2, the air suspension, all the off-roady stuff. SE means it has luxury packages and tech packages, all the cameras and the radar cruise control, all that stuff. P400 means it has the turbo and supercharged mild hybrid 3-liter inline 6, which makes just under 400 horsepower and just over 400 pounds of torque. This thing, as tested, weighs about 5,200 pounds, okay? And it is obviously completely unrelated to the original Defender, except in the case of name and
shape,
some styling cues. So, let's have a little quick go on the road and see what it's like to drive spiritedly, I guess.
Well, they tested it on the Nürburgring, so however fast you want to drive it.
Okay, this model has the air suspension, which works very well for the off-roading, and so far, right into it, reasonably composed. Reasonably composed. They haven't given me paddle shifters on the steering wheel, although the gear lever off the dash is the right direction if you want a manual. So I'll try. Forward is down, towards me is up, rally car style. We didn't talk about it much off-roading because it wasn't super relevant, but although it is more complex, I like the vibration frequency of this inline 6 better than I liked the old V6 as seen in my mom's Jag and other Land Rover products.
No, this is a nice little engine. Like, with all the funky stuff in it, it puts down the power efficiently, and the 8-speed gearbox always has a gear. Like, it's good.
It's
like,
not hustling.
I would call this quick enough.
Considering we have the off-road tires, which are Goodyear Wranglers. In the on-road video, I said BFG ATs, but there should be a lower third correcting me, because they're Goodyear Wranglers. You can get a regular all-season tire standard, and this one's got 20-inch wheels.
Nice.
You can get anywhere from 18-inch Steelies up to, I think, 22s.
I think we saw 22s the other night.
0 to 60, 5.7, quarter mile, just a hair over 14 seconds. So if you have a Mustang from the middle 90s or Corvette from the early 90s, that's how fast this is. And we're talking about an off-road vehicle again.
Yeah.
The brakes are pretty good. In fact,
it's nice.
They're a little immediate, which is interesting for a truck like this. But they have pretty decent feel. The steering has no feel, but it's an off-road vehicle, and the lack of feel doesn't take away from my ability to place it as needed. Considering the mission, the steering is just fine.
It's giving me old Raptor vibes a little bit.
Oh, it's not, I don't think it's as rolly as that. I think it corners flatter than the Rossi. The brakes
got some nice
brakes are
movement,
pretty
though.
good, yeah. And the throttle response is good. I don't really feel the mild hybrid in this at all.
No,
I mean, it's
zero.
really blended well, other than effective start-stop. Like the BMW M440 I drove recently, I could tell that mild hybrid was there. In this one, it's pretty much invisible. They've done a nice job.
It feels
I like the sound of the
seamless.
engine.
Yeah, inline sixes, man. You can't go wrong.
I mean, Jesus, we're not going slow. We're in a Defender.
Yeah, it's fast.
It's kind of
Like,
quick.
this is a poor Z3 or Z4.
The Z4.
Z4. It's
I
gonna.
mean, we're gonna run right up the bum of this Z4 right here.
Yeah.
This is the Z4 pace. This is regular people pace.
All right, for a place to be in and sit in, this thing is awesome.
It's comfortable. It's spacious.
I'm huge, and there's a ton of room.
Yeah, I mean, no one ever said spacious about an old Defender ever.
No.
They're just not. They're tiny and terrible. This is good. It's really roomy for tall people, long legs, and even if we were sitting in the back seat, it would be good. I can sit behind myself here. The dashboard, sort of open storage layout. Center console has a really nice amount of usable storage. Are you not going to let us through? Well, if this is the case, I'll flip and Z-bitchin'. I'm not going to sit behind. I'm not going to sit behind a Z4. Turning radius is very good, as it should be for off-roading.
Yeah, that's the standard. So many people wait for your turning radius comments.
Right now, I just really felt the electric motor a little bit because I went flat from a dig, but I was in second gear, manual. So I felt the electric motor trying to fill that torque.
This thing scoots though for being an SUV. Like,
Yeah,
it's impressive.
the handling, I think, of the G-Wagon is probably about the same as this, but this handles like I would have been rolled into a ditch like 8 corners ago if we were in a Wrangler. Like,
Yeah.
the new Wranglers like are capable. They
It's
are,
not this.
but they do not drive nicely. They're not nice. Like, this drives nicely. Independent front and rear suspension. Torque vectoring differentials, fully locking. Locking center and locking rear. There is no locking front. But we just drove over a mountain.
That's the gnarly.
That
one.
was like 2-wheel motion right there. That's not
You don't
necessary.
really need it.
Manual gearbox response is pretty good. Yo, the thing about off-roading is you typically have to drive on some kind of windy road
To get there.
to
Yeah.
the off-roading area. And it sort of sucks when the on-road portion of your journey is like terrible, so that your off-roading weekend could be nice, right? But with this, like, I'm not saying I'm gonna buy a Defender to hit the canyons with, but like, if you had to go through a canyon in a Defender, like, you could do worse. This is nice.
This is a good Pacific Northeast car, I feel
Pacific Northeast? What does that mean? The eastern side of Washington and Oregon?
I mean, like, sorry. the northeast of the USA.
Of course, these are gonna be all
like
over Greenwich.
Connecticut, Cape Cod, all that shit.
I gotta say, I mean, I knew it was kind of nice because we drove it up here,
Yeah.
and I had been driving it around the city, and I liked how it drove around the city. But
It's
I mean,
good.
hustling it back and forth on this very tight road is pretty impressive for this thing. Like,
Very impressive.
it's actually kind of fast. There used to be a restaurant there, it burned down. It's actually kind of fast. The brakes hold up well. The steering is not communicative, but very direct. It's extremely practical.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about it from a practical standpoint is the plastic trunk liner where
that's-
things slide around.
But that's an easy
But
fix.
that's not unique to Defender. There's so many USB ports. There's a bunch of 12-volt ports. There's inductive charging here. There's a 110 outlet in the trunk. You can hide stuff behind the screen here, which is great. I mean, the more kind of stuff I started digging around and finding in this thing, I was like, oh, that's smart. Oh, that's smart. That's smart. That's smart. And so I actually I was totally ambivalent about the return of the Defender. I didn't care. I just didn't. I was like, oh, okay, it's the new Defender. But now here we are, and we've done the things that it can do, and the width, the spread of on-road dynamics, practicality, comfort, not being annoying so far, and ridiculous capability. And
it covers a lot of ground for $85,000.
A lot of ground. And I've been saying that about the full-size Range Rover, but it's been $150,000. And I've been going, well, look at it now. This gets a lot of the way there.
It seems like a deal at $85,000.
It's really, this one's $85,000. They start in the 50s, you know, but you can get them up over 100. You start getting the accessories, and there's a lot of accessories you can get. So I'm super stoked on this thing now. It's a lovely truck. It drives great on the road. It's incredible off the road and spacious, practical, and has a lot of innovative features that are great for keeping your stuff handy, which I love.
Yeah, and it's way better than the old one.
It was not designed in 1948, so that's a plus.
That's brilliant.
Thanks for watching Brown 1 on Instagram. Shout out to Land Rover for letting us have a go. And make sure you check out our off-roading video with this vehicle, because we got up the Pioneer Trail at the Rower Flats faster, I believe, than any other off-road vehicle I've ever tested on that trail before. This thing is a beast in the dirt. It's ridiculous. So thanks for watching. Back to Dubai for him. See you guys later.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.